X-Ray Beats.
You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with your mind filled with sorrow? You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with the Mr. Mind of a psycho? But I'm fast to the front, the pants to remind to follow. This time I'm not losing control. If you tell me to sell my soul, I'm refusing to go. The debt is too high, I'm not paying the toll. I'm laying the flow more than Pablo's, laying the kilos of coke. Are you out in the cold with no coat? Stuck on a boat that can't float? How do you move forward when you can only backstroke? I've got a word for the backsliding going backwards, who lack nerve and act like slackers. Pull it together, never say never, you can do better. The Lord will love you forever, no matter the storm or the weather. Whether or not you're under pressure on the spot, I won't stop loving you. Even if you're on the chopping block, I'll be pushing through to let you know you can be forgiven too. But you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with your mind filled with sorrow? You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with the Mr. Mind of a psycho? Life is what you make it. I used to look at life and hate it. I dwelled on all the mistakes I was making, and I couldn't take it. I felt naked and forsaken. With a slow heartache, my heart was surely breaking into multiple pieces over multiple reasons. Now I found the ultimate freedom, which was taken in the Garden of Eden. But Jesus freed us through his cross of succeeding. He's all that I'm needing.
X-Ray Beats.
I still struggle with sin, like a dog wearing a muzzle, but the struggle's within. It's like this flesh picks at my skin. It reminds me of the stuff I've been through and where I've been. It tries to tell me that's who I am, but it's not true, cause I know I can begin again. In hindsight, I'll highlight this dark night with a flashlight to pull you from the teeth of a snake bite. I'll seek you out like a lighthouse to a shipwreck. Did you trip yet or have a whip neck? Don't give a guilt trip. We false spoke lies with false lips. Show some love to your kinship through kindness. Care for what you say, cause you can't rewind it. The hands of time are climbing. What you say is final, so make sure your conscience likes it. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with your mind filled with sorrow? You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with the Mr. Mind of a psycho? Try to walk a mile in these shoes and see how you get bruised with all the trials I've been through. I came from the brink of death. I won't think to take a step without being thankful for every breath. But you're wandering lost while pondering thoughts. Who else could have conquered the conqueror's cross? But just because you failed first doesn't mean you're a failure. You can still prevail over this curse. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with your mind filled with sorrow? You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Is there time you can borrow with the Mr. Mind of a psycho? Everything you've been granted, you take for granted. Like all these gifts came from your own hand? Yeah, right. But who gave you your handprint? Think about it.